Hello, everybody, and welcome to Escaped Reality. This is the Reality Escape podcast where we kind of break down a little bit of whatever the previous video was on. It's a couple days late because we had some scheduling conflicts. And also, I know most of you didn't watch the Skyrim video, but that's okay because we're going to talk about it anyways because I just wanted to use this as an excuse to introduce Brugo to the channel.
Hello.
Hello, Brugo. If we have any Jafferdub fans out there, for those of you who don't know, Jafferdub is our Let's Play channel. He's been on there. You can go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to watch some of our stuff. If the podcast isn't your thing, as usual, we do have, I say we, it's me. On the 20th, there is a new video coming out. And if you subscribe to that Jafferdub channel that I just mentioned, you might see a little hint as to what's coming up next, and that might kind of be a thing that we do now. So if that's something that you're interested in getting a little sneak peek about whatever the next video is going to be about, or you just want to watch us play games and mess around, Brugo, how are you? Welcome to Reality Escape. This is your first appearance here.
And I'm happy to be here.
You're the last one that had to make an appearance because we got Cashman on here and we got Gundam Fang. I can't get rid of that guy, unfortunately, but you're here now.
But yes, I am here.
And mainly because you're the only person out of the four of us that have played Skyrim. Although Cashman did send me a message very upset saying I made him start playing it again. So
yeah, I mean, it's always a game I jump back into.
Yeah, sometimes it's like you play it for like 60 hours straight and then just finish it, or it's like you sporadically come back and forth just to mess around for a little bit.
I've never actually finished it.
You've never finished it?
Nope.
So like you finished it in what sense? Like the main quest with the dragons and stuff? Or?
No, I've never actually finished the main quest. I normally just goof around doing side quests and like the DLCs and forget about the main story altogether.
Yeah.
And then by the time I go to jump back into it, I forgot where I am, and I restart the game over. And...
the endless cycle.
Yeah.
Well, it's the games are never really... I mean, the main quest is, like, there and prominent, but if you've never done it at least once, I would say do it once, but you're too busy with your classic World of Warcrafts waiting in line and whatever. I don't know, I never played it, but...
Those queue times.
Yeah, it seems like they could have easily avoided that problem, and they knew how popular it was going to be, and they didn't, so... Anyway,
thanks, EA.
Not with the pod... EA? Is that who does it?
EA's partnered up with Blizzard.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Bad.
All right, well, not what we're focused on today. Today we're talking about Skyrim, and we're talking about the survival mode, and we're talking about the not playing as a Dragonborn, which is not really a game type. It's really just avoiding the main quest from the very beginning. And some people did comment that don't get the Skyrim Creation Club mods because it's like free to download the other ones. I said in the video, I don't know how to download mods. I have tried several times and I don't know how to do it because I'm terrible with technology. And I got survival mode and pretty much everything else I think for free. I think I got them all when they were on sale and it was cheap and I had like enough coins or whatever to buy it. So, and plus, you know, like there's nothing wrong with supporting the company.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I do understand that there are better free options. I'm not a huge guy into modding, so say what you will. But you actually have experience with mods.
I actually tried getting the survival mod through their mod system that Skyrim has without the Creation Club.
Yeah.
It took forever to even get halfway into the mod. I couldn't figure it out. It told me didn't have the right version, that I needed this version to download this version, and
it's complicated, right?
It was a mess.
It's hard. Like when I look up videos of like how to do mods for like Oblivion, and I watch these like 14-year-old punks who like understand it perfectly, and like, oh yeah, you just move to this folder, and then put this folder in here, then copy and paste this, and go into this and change this. I'm like, what?
I am not that kind of nerd.
I can't do it. No. But I don't mind playing a vanilla game and a little bit of DLC, and that's basically the Creation Club is meant to be like a little bit of DLC, I think, but not like major. But yeah, some people did have an issue with me buying things from the Creation Club, to which I say it's my money. Screw you. You know, you pay for what you want. If, like I said, I'm not a huge mod guy. If I was a mod purist, then I'm sure I would not have touched the Creation Club and I would have gone through other avenues. There are like millions and millions and millions of YouTubers who do Skyrim mod reviews. who know what they're talking about. So I recommend those. There's like Epic Nate. There used to be that like other Asian dude whose name I don't remember. Anyway, real specific.
Yeah.
But you can go check them out. So what did you think of this? So sorry, you tried to do the survival mod, but have you played with other mods before?
Yes, I have played with other mods. Normally, I don't do any of like the weightless mods or.
Oh no, I just hacked the console commands for that.
Oh, there you go.
Which I do.
No, I found that the mods that I played with were like different texture mods,
right.
better or smarter NPCs, because if you just played vanilla NPCs, they were downright stupid.
Some of them are a little, yeah. I had when I was recording the video, it might even be in the video, there are a lot of points where I'm fighting like 4 guys and my partner's just standing there not doing anything. It's like, thanks, guys.
Or you get the town of villagers that run out to kill a bunch of vampires and die to the vampires.
Yeah.
Because a couple playthroughs I had my blacksmith in Whiterun die to a bunch of vampires. Or, sorry, get turned into a vampire and then day broke and then she died.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's with the blacksmith.
See, that's like amazing AI, but like extremely inconvenient AI.
Exactly.
For immersive qualities, that sounds awesome. But if you had no idea what happened, you just walk into the city and find your blacksmith dead. You're like, excuse me?
Yeah. And then there's literally nothing you can do on Whiterun for blacksmithing after that.
So yeah, mainly texture stuff. Like I didn't have a very good computer until like last year when I really did a big update. So texture mods and stuff would have just slowed my stuff right down. Yeah. So that's one of the main reasons I never touched it. And then, you know, sometimes like the cool weapons look awesome, but then like people make weapons that are like way overpowered and not fun.
I tended to stay away from those just because I found that they were overpowered.
Or like immersion breaking, right? You're trying to get into the game.
Yeah, and then there were some mods that I tried out and then got rid of almost immediately just because they took me away from Skyrim.
Yeah, like there's the infamous Thomas the Train engine mod, turning the dragons into Thomas the Train. Like that sounds, or like Macho Man Randy Savage or something. Like those sound fun, but like I wouldn't be able to like play the game seriously. And everyone's looking for a different experience. If you're looking to joke around and mess around, then those are awesome for you. But if you're not looking for that, then you're probably not gonna enjoy the
Nick Cage mod where his face is literally everywhere.
Oh, that sounds terrifying.
It is.
See, there's so many great mods out there, and there's probably better videos of them, so go watch those. Don't tell me what to do. Jeez. So, you have never completed the main quest before, but generally when you played, you obviously become a Dragonborn and get the shouts.
Yes.
So what was it like not having the shouts? We'll start with the Dragonborn before we move on to survival mode. Because you said you played for like roughly 8 hours, which is what I did.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a set goal like I did, right?
No, I was just kind of goofing around, going into random caves and just exploring the world.
Right, because I did the companions quest, and all I wanted to do was explore, but I didn't have 97 hours to spare on this one video that wasn't going to do that well in the first place, which I predicted, by the way, so I'm not offended that it didn't do well. But I would have been a lot more fun without a goal, I think, just to do whatever.
I found it was a interesting take on the game. Like, I played it how I played the original Skyrim, but it was a lot harder, I found.
Yeah, the shouts make it a lot easier, eh?
I actually typically don't use the shouts that often,
really?
Even in regular play. I normally used, like, the boosting shout where I'd, like, lunge forward and, like, the sprinting shouts. I never actually used any, like,
the
attacking combat ones.
I use them all the time. Because there's one of the DLCs, you get a horse. And then there's the ethereal one where you become immune to damage, which I think I showed off in the video where I jumped off the cliff, and then I didn't use too much of like the traditional like Fus Ro Da and stuff like that, but sometimes there were some cool ones in there. But it feels like you really have to like switch between bows and weapons and magic and stuff because you can't like just rely on one without the shouts to kind of give you a hand.
Well, in just regular Skyrim, I would always go for like the sneaking bow crit damage. Like, I'm killing this guy before he knows I'm there.
So relatable. And even if you didn't start out that way, that's where you ended up.
Yeah. And then with the survival one, I tried doing the exact same thing, but I found it to be way harder because of having to carry so much food on me.
Oh, yeah.
Arrows were just...
Arrows weighed
me down like crazy, so then I started branching a bit into magic. and I was kind of like a half and half of archery and magic.
So that's more the survival mode, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot more. You have to be a lot more careful with resource management. You can't just pick up everything you see, which is annoying as heck.
Oh yeah, you want to sell that battle axe that drops off the dude, but you're like, oh wait, I can't.
Yeah, and then you have to like choose. Like, did you have any moments where you had to like debate between like better armor or warmer armor?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. It was like, well, that's an armor upgrade, but I need the warmth of what I'm wearing right now, or it's just
and I can't carry both.
Yeah, and it's just brutal.
See, I tried to get into magic so I could use bound weapons, so eventually I didn't have to carry a sword, but I had so many damn arrows it didn't make a difference anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, the arrows definitely weighed me down a lot.
And then what about sleeping and eating and staying warm?
The eating part definitely was a bit harder.
It really, you don't really realize until you're hungry how much it makes your attacks slow down.
Yeah, it definitely slows down the attacks, but when you start making your own food and like you start doing the soups that do crazy amounts of
right, you like buy salt and you find fires and whatnot.
And you start making your food, I didn't find it to be that difficult to get your attacks back up to full and be.
It's just something you have to kind of constantly be aware of, but the pop-ups and the noises kind of help you out with that.
Yeah, but the sleeping to level up, that was a little annoying for how much I was adventuring.
Right, because you're doing a lot of leveling up too, right?
And I'd get like the 3 or 4 levels and be like, okay, now I have to sleep, but I'm nowhere near a town. And I'm like, great.
And I think with Skyrim, and I might be thinking of a different game like Dragon Age or something. I think with Skyrim, if you like level up when you're at empty health, it refills you back to full, right?
Yes.
So that's another thing that you lose, is that like instant heal, kind of like,
oh,
I'll save this level up in the middle of a battle just in case.
Yeah, if you level up halfway your health or whatever, and then you're back up to full because you leveled up.
The thing about not being able to sleep too, or having to sleep in a bed to level up, is you can't just fast travel to a bed.
Yeah.
So what was it like? Because sometimes it gets very frustrating not having fast travel when you're doing literally nothing for like 4 to 5 minutes, and other times you're like, wow, I never would have discovered this place if I was fast traveling around.
Yeah, I found that there was only a couple times that I actually did fast travel with regular Skyrim.
Yeah.
But I found with the survival mode, I did a lot more running around because I wasn't doing the early main quest.
And you also had so much stuff you had to go back and sell.
Yeah, I was going back and forth to different towns and merchants, and I was finding little caves that I didn't even know about through my other 50 hours playthrough that I would just pop up and be like, oh, hey,
yeah,
that's new.
Yeah. And I think that's almost one thing that, because you have these games that like add realism, these mods that like add realism, and I think that's one thing where we kind of go too far realistic, because like I understand not doing fast travel, but because you have the limited weight, you have to go back and sell things, and you're constantly walking back and forth between the same areas over and over. Especially for the Companions quest, having to walk back into, what is it, Winterhold or Whiterun? Whiterun. I had to walk back into Whiterun like 15 times. Mm-hmm. And you're walking the same pathway every single time. And it's just like, okay, this isn't like what I wanted from my Skyrim experience. And you could argue that like maybe the best way to play would be to not sell things at all, just like to drop what you find and then only take things that you can immediately use. But then you're not getting any money and you can't buy better equipment and you're not going to find better equipment. It's like, it's a whole thing. But I think that's a little, because some people like to do that roleplay stuff, right? Like, I'm going to roleplay a hunter. I'm only going to kill wild animals and then bring the stuff back and sell it. But it gets tough, and then it just becomes like a repetitive simulator, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind not having fast travel because I do think it brings you to a lot of cool places. It's just the inconvenience when you do need to fast travel that you're like, damn it, I really just want to go to the city and then come right back. But now I have to waste 30 minutes doing that, depending on where you are.
But then it's also nice without fast traveling. It gives you that chance to get the extra experience because of some jerk thief on the side of the road wants to mug you.
Yeah, or they hand you an axe and be like, hey, hold on to this and don't tell anyone you saw me.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned before that you played Skyrim, obviously, a lot before.
Yeah.
So how different was this experience compared to that one? Because first off, you're not doing any quests. You're not like stopping to talk to people. You're not like being like, okay, this is my objective. You're literally just a wanderer.
Yeah. I found that it was definitely like an interesting way to approach Skyrim, because you're not doing the main quest. You can still do little side quests, helping out people and like getting the mammoth tusk for that first chick in Whiterun.
Yeah.
But overall, it was kind of nice not having to worry about dragons flying around and beating me up.
Well, that's the other thing, right? It's like, depending on the difficulty you're playing on. Generally, when I'm playing a game like Skyrim, the last thing I want to do is get stuck at a fight, dying over and over, and getting frustrated. Because then I find I'm out of the game. My experience is kind of being ruined by that. So if I'm playing I normally play on a lower difficulty, which means when I see dragons, they're not that scary. And I'm not going to pause and then up my difficulty, kill a dragon, and then lower it again just for the sake of the challenge, right? So playing at a higher difficulty than I normally would made like the combat way more exciting, because I wasn't worried about a dragon ruining my day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I find that without the dragons, I wasn't worried about them, but the other people, like the necromancers on the side of the roads as you're traveling,
right?
Those were so scary.
Or because, like seeing the occasional vampire, or even just like just a couple of bandits that you weren't prepared for. Like if you're really tired and really hungry, and then suddenly bandits show up, you're like, well, damn it.
Yep.
Where's the option to just give them my stuff?
Right. Like, here, don't kill me. Have some gold.
Yeah, please. You never should have come here. It is. I think the thing about Skyrim is that Bethesda's world is like one of the very few worlds that you could actually do this kind of mode in, because most games don't have an independent food system where they're just lying around on plates and houses and stuff, right? Like, you wouldn't be able to do that in a game like, I don't know, let's just say Mass Effect, for example, because you can't just interact with everything in there.
Yeah.
It's Bethesda's interaction that they pride themselves on, which rightfully so, because there's so much that you can interact with.
So much.
Like, when I was joining the Companions, I was like, dude, there's so much free food lying on tables and stuff, right? Like, there's no other games, really, where you can just interact with everything and pick off the food, and so it allows you to really, like, oh, here's like a random hut. I'm going to see if anyone's home, and if not, I'm just going to go help myself to some food because I'm really hungry, and then peace out. But any other game, you wouldn't have that, like, natural reaction, because they would just be, like, custom graphics built onto the table that your hand would just go through. So somebody commented, actually, I should probably read this, I doubt they're going to watch, but I just feel bad if I... Okay, so this is a comment from Joe Man, but it's actually like Joe03 Man. Okay. And they said, exploration and discovery are my primary motivations for playing a game, but the fantasy of having a clear purpose is what motivates me to engage with the video game world instead of my actual life. If I wanted to be a wandering adventurer with no real purpose in the world, I might as well clean my apartment, go backpacking, or talk to strangers on the street or the internet. No need for a video game. The not Dragonboard modification undermines the entire fun of the game for me. So this is someone who obviously would not... This wouldn't work out for, because they need a purpose. And I think I mentioned that in the video too, that like if you're the kind of person who's like looking to beat Skyrim and then move on to something else, I wouldn't recommend this because it's just adding hours.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who is looking to just enjoy the world and explore... So, you know, like, let's compare. You've played, maybe not through the main quest, but you've probably done the side quests in Skyrim before,
yep.
Right? How would you compare doing the side quests in Skyrim to this mod where you literally did nothing? Where you did no, like, quest-specific thing that you just wandered around? Like, did you still have the same fun, more or less?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed both versions, like doing the survival mode and the original.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both of them. They're definitely different. I'm curious to do a playthrough with the survival mode and the story.
Right.
To see how much harder the game actually becomes with the dragons, with the cold, with the hunger.
Like, the dragons, for sure, I imagine would be a huge issue. The main thing about that is there would be so much repetitive going back and forth, because there's a lot of points where you're kind of just going somewhere, getting a fetch quest, going back and forth. And so it would be a lot like what I did, where you're just running through the same places over and over again. And in that case, it would add tons and tons of extra hours and probably drive you insane. But it would definitely be harder, right? You're already there. Yeah. So, but I think if some people don't like having a clear purpose, especially with these kind of games, right? And as I said before, I think Bethesda has created the perfect worlds where if you don't necessarily want to do a quest and you just want to explore and go into the first cave you see and clear it out and keep doing that, then you can. But if you don't enjoy that, then I wouldn't recommend I don't either of these mods, even the survival mod, because really the survival mod is there for you to feel like another person who has to, because the AI have a schedule. They eat, they sleep, they work. Yep. And basically that turns you into one of them. You have to follow that schedule. If you're not interested in extending your playing time, well, not even extending your playing time, but just not doing anything beyond the main quest, or not playing once you're finished the main quest and you want to have a purpose, I don't know if extending it unnecessarily long is going to benefit you.
Yeah, it's tough to say, because I found with the survival mod that I was constantly eating. Right. Warmth wasn't an issue for me.
Yeah, unless you're actually in the northern areas, which I tried to go for some of it, it doesn't become an issue. When I first tried out the survival mod, I actually died from it multiple times because that's how far in the north I was without having proper armor, and there was no fires.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm finding that not doing the main quest kind of motivated me to check out other areas that, say, I haven't explored before, because yes, back in the original one I did the main quest, I did some side quests, but there were huge areas of the map I didn't actually go to.
Right, because if you don't, because you're completing tasks, so you don't have a need to. And I think that they reward you for exploring, right? Yeah. They reward you for wandering around aimlessly. And I'm not trying to... What Joe Man said is like a completely valid criticism, and I think that's just the different types of preference in games. If I had to choose between playing Skyrim without a purpose or cleaning my basement suite, I would probably choose Skyrim.
Oh, 100%.
Right? But if you feel the need to have a goal and to accomplish something, then I completely 100% understand why maybe you wouldn't be into this. Yeah. And I don't know Joe Man, but I would think that this is probably someone who maybe is a little bit more drawn towards linear games rather than these open ones, right? Because with Skyrim, it doesn't really end. There was always things to do, especially with the way the quest lines work, where things can kind of go on forever. Yep. So, I mean, obviously he played it, but he probably finished when he was done with the dragons, maybe did the last bit of side quest and then hasn't touched it since, right? Or if he does play it again, he just does that stuff again. In which case, yeah, then probably you probably favor more linear games. This mod type is definitely made for people who, because there are people who have like 1,000 hours in Skyrim, which is mind blowing to me. Because I like the game, I don't know if I like it that much, but those are the people that would love this kind of thing because they love to explore every nook and cranny. They're never quite done discovering stuff, and there's still tons of stuff in Skyrim we probably don't know about.
And those are also the guys that do the heavy mods that will goof around and turn everything into Mario or Spider-Man running through Skyrim.
Exactly. Those are the ones that they'll probably never really be done playing Skyrim.
No, that's something with all the mods that are out there. There's always a new way to play.
And if you're not interested, like if you don't have like another game lined up or something, like Skyrim is like a great game to come back to. Yep. Because I'm always playing games and like working on videos and stuff, I don't ever have a point where it's like, well, I want to play something, but I don't know what, and there's nothing new. Because if I did, I would jump back to Skyrim or Oblivion, no problem. Because those games were made to just keep continuing and continuing and continuing. But if you're looking to just have a linear experience, Skyrim does work in that sense. You can play it and then have what you could call an ending, but I don't know if beyond... You wouldn't enjoy it beyond like finishing the main quest, right? So, like I said, nothing wrong with that way of thinking. That's a valid way of thinking. If you need the task, then this mod would be unfavorable.
Yeah, I mean, if you need if you need that end goal, you need that
right, the resolution,
main thing that your character's working on, you're not going to have a good time with this mod. But if you just want to go out and try Skyrim for, say this is your 5th, 20th time playing, and it's something you haven't experienced, it's definitely a cool way to try out Skyrim.
And the thing is that this mod was really made for people who were already doing this. There are already people with tons of self-imposed rules who sleep, who eat, who like have jobs or whatever you want to call it. And this mod is really just a way to add game mechanics to those rules. And like we kind of said, if you have 10,000 hours in this game, you're probably one of the people who use those rules, who use those mods, who do those restrictions. If you're not that into it, then playing for 40 hours until you've done the main storylines and then calling it a day is probably what you prefer, and that's completely fine because they don't punish you for not exploring, but for those who have explored, obviously they reward you, otherwise people wouldn't be playing it to this day. And people are going to continue to play it. I mean, people still play Morrowind religiously, right? Yep. So it's I don't think the Elder Scrolls are going to die anytime soon, but they're made to appeal to both kinds of fans, right? And so if like you said, if this is like your 20th time playing Skyrim, now I'm not endorsing the Creation Club. If you know how to make other things work, then by all means do that. I don't know how to make it work, and I saw an option that was like, hey, you can pay like $1 and not have to learn how to make it work. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. And that was like 4 years ago. So I think you spent like what?
I think it was
$5 or something.
$5 or $6 after tax.
So it's, but if you don't want to use the Creation Club, I'm sure there are other ways that you can get that working. Mods just aren't my thing.
Yeah, if you can figure out the mod, hats off to you. I could not figure that out.
We're so old. We are old men. We are ancient.
But I definitely recommend the survival mode.
What is this Facebook thing you talk about?
Oh,
no.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. I think it adds an extra layer to it. But like I said, I don't know if doing it while doing the main quest would be any fun. And like I said, unless it really is like your 20th attempt doing. Any final closing thoughts on the survival mode? And I mean, not playing as a Dragonborn didn't seem to affect you terribly.
No, because I typically never really used the shouts. It was just not having the main quest line to go off of.
Right.
Dragons. That was really about it.
Just making sure you avoid the Jarl every time you're in the city.
Avoiding.
Wow.
I can't speak today.
Thank goodness you're on a podcast.
Right? No live streaming for me. Yeah, just avoid going up the stairs and you're good to go. But it was a fun mod, and I'm curious to try it with the story mode.
Yeah, I think... Because I don't know, I'm not super familiar with the main story. Like, I know it. I've beaten it probably... Actually, I think I only did it once. I don't know. I think I've ever did it twice. But I definitely always played as a Dragonborn, and it's very interesting to experience that whole world without it. Yeah. Because it doesn't feel... You would think taking away a main mechanic like that would make the world feel empty, but it doesn't to me. It still feels like Skyrim.
Yeah, it still felt like Skyrim. It just... You don't have the aspect of dragons coming in and blowing up your town.
What do you think about dragon fights? Do you like them?
Yes and no. Some of them are very annoying when they would just always stay in the sky, and if you weren't using a bow or magic at the time, he's not coming down.
Yeah.
He's staying in the sky, and it's just annoying.
And it's not like you can just walk away. He'll follow you.
Yeah, exactly. And then when he does go on the ground, you come near him, hit him once, and he's back up in the air.
Yeah.
Or
because they're unscripted, right? Which I don't know if that really... I mean, it's cool, but they say that every fight is technically unique because you can't, script it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of the same thing.
It seemed like it was a lot of the same. Then you get the one dragon that just fire breaths forever.
Yeah.
And there's no escaping that.
See, I don't love them, but I don't hate them. Yeah. You know,
they're
playing
there.
Without them for however many hours I played, it didn't feel like I was losing a lot.
Yeah, it didn't feel like I was losing a lot because I found that even in the main story mode and all that, dragons didn't attack that often.
Right.
But I wasn't losing out on anything. And if the one thing that I am worried about with doing the survival mode and story mode is the dragon bones and all that material. That is going to weigh you down like crazy.
I mean, if you
Like, that's a slow walk.
Guaranteed, most scenarios you wouldn't have enough to actually... Yeah. Unless you had a follower, but I don't know how that works with the survival mode. That might be your cheat code into lifting stuff, because you can give stuff to your companion, right? Lydia is sworn to carry our burden, so that might be her.
She might just have to carry some dragon parts.
Carry some dragon burdens. Yeah, and the thing too is that after the main quest, which you haven't beaten, is that you get a shout called Dragon Rend, which makes it so that dragons can fly. So if you see one in the sky and you hit it, it's stuck to the ground.
Oh.
And that changes fights in the opposite way. Okay, well now he never leaves. Now he just sits there forever and you just keep walking behind him and hitting him.
Okay.
So it almost makes it too easy.
Yeah, that would make it a little on the easy side, for sure.
So, there's a balance there. But, you know what? Skyrim is Skyrim. It's a good game.
Yep.
It's, no matter how you play it, it's going to be a good game. I think Skyrim is such a good game that even if the survival mod was total BS and not fair at all, it would still be fun. Yeah,
I mean, with the survival mod, it definitely added an extra difficulty to the game. Without it, it's still a fun game. With it, still a fun game. Shouts or no shouts.
Yeah, and I think if you up the difficulty one more than you normally do, and then play survival mode, you'll notice it feels... That would be... You're very cautious. You're very careful about things.
You would have to be.
But that's an added challenge, right? But, with the other guy, if you're just trying to beat the game linearly and, you want that challenge, but you don't want to be stuck there forever, and once you're done, you're not, searching around endlessly, then maybe that's not for you. But, yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments. I know, like I said, a lot of people didn't watch the first video. I'm not too upset about it. It happens. And if you stick around, if you go to Jafferdub on the 16th, there will be... a Let's Play of me recording gameplay for the next video I'm doing. And on the 20th, roughly 10 to 11 a.m. Western Pacific time, whatever we're called, PST, I think.
Something like that.
10 a.m. There'll be another video, and then we'll do a podcast in 2 weeks, and another video in 2 weeks, and then a podcast in 2 weeks, and we'll pretty much do this until I'm dead. So...
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Brugo.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for chatting. Thanks for I'm glad that you actually played the game. I kind of said please play it a little bit before you come on.
Yeah,
so
it was
the
nice
fact that you got 8 hours of it is I'm surprised you got that much. I figured you would have played an hour or two just to get the feel of it. So at least you enjoyed it enough that you played enough.
I enjoyed it enough to definitely pick it up again. And
do you think you'll play it?
Yeah,
you're gonna keep playing.
I'll probably keep playing it, but I'll probably restart
when World of
my
Warcraft
character.
Isn't.
Well, yeah, when World of Warcraft isn't a priority anymore, No, I'll definitely go back, but I'll probably recreate my character and then go through the full story and the main quest.
Yeah,
and maybe not play as a Khajiit this time, to see how much harder that is.
Oh, yeah, because you had the raw... Yeah, I didn't play as a Khajiit for that reason.
I played as a Khajiit so you could eat raw meat.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference.
You just have to spend a little bit more money on it.
Yeah, you can buy the salt, or you save those ones. That's what you use the salt on, but you can still eat all your 600 cabbages.
Yeah, I got food poisoning. Yeah. Because I ate raw meat in a rush by accident and went, whoops! Everyone's like, you look sick. I'm like, how do I get rid of this? I think I had cure disease or something.
The Khajiit got that. As a Khajiit, people would always come up to me and be like, you look sickly. And I'm like, why?
So maybe it was something else you contracted. Because they have afflictions in the game, which are not in the original.
Yeah.
So with the mods, you can get sick and then get sicker over time if you don't fix it, which is so realistic that I'm upset at it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the end of our podcast. Thank you very much, Brugo, for being on here. If you're interested, Brugo doesn't have a Twitter account because he's an old man. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, I mean, we do have an Instagram at Reality Escape YT, but no one looks at that because why would they? Because there's nothing on there. But we do have a Twitter. My Twitter is at Ghostboy259, and you can also check out the official Reality Escape Twitter, even though there's no fake ones, but it's official. At Reality Escape YT. And then, Jafferdub, Jafferdub. I swear I know my channel name. And you can watch some gameplay, and I'll leave a Let's Play down below of me and Brugo playing the game called Tower Miners.
That was a fun time.
That was a fun one.
Oh,
and, we'll see you guys in like a week and a bit. And if you want Brugo to get a Twitter, or you want to watch him live stream, leave a comment, because he wants to do that stuff.
Yeah.
They can't see the thumbs up.
Oh.
Not a video podcast.
This is why I need to live stream.
Oh, God, you're ugly mug on the internet? No, thanks.
Right?
Especially because you never wear a shirt when you're playing games, so that would just...
For that, I would.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure I'd be violating some code of ethics.
Yeah, I think just showing your face would be violating a lot of
I think
codes.
so.
Okay. Bye, guys.